Which cereal mascot would win in a fight? Round 2! We already done
Round
this once
two.
before, but
Yes,
now we
we
have selected
have.
new mascots.
So my fighter, I looked at Trix. I looked at the Trix rabbit, whose name is actually just Trix, spelled Tricks. And he was originally prototyped as a puppet rabbit, and then he turned into a cartoon later. And his first cartoon appearance was in 1959, and he is currently voiced by Brett Iwan, which is the current voice of Mickey Mouse.
Oh.
Yeah. So that guy has a popular voice, I guess. And like Tony, Trix, I'm going to say Trix the Rabbit because it sounds weird to just say Trix.
Yeah.
But Trix the
My boy
Rabbit,
Trix here.
yeah. Trix the Rabbit doesn't really have any powers, like superpowers, like in line with what we've had in other fights. But he does, so in most of his commercials, he's trying to he's trying to get Trix. And to get the Trix, he tries to put on disguises to fool kids because kids know that Trix aren't for rabbits. So he tries to disguise himself as not a rabbit. So his main thing is disguises. And there's a whole list of disguises that I came up with. I'm going to read some of them. So he's disguised himself as a rock star, a magician, a boy band member, a samba dancer, a sailor, a school kid, a milkman, a clown, a Hawaiian luau dancer, a game show contestant, a male. I said male. Did I say mailman? Mailman.
Definitely a mailman.
One mailman, multiple mailmen.
Yeah. A reporter, a scientist, a bride, like at a wedding, and King Cool, which is a parody of Fonzie.
And they all walk into a bar, and the bartender goes,
Drakes aren't for rabbits.
solid.
Yeah.
Ben's holding up a 10. I can see it from here.
Nailed it.
And then he's also disguised himself as other animals. So there's one commercial where he was looking in through a window at a bunch of kids that were eating Trix at a party, and they had bunny rabbit ears on for some reason. And he was like, oh, I want to get into that party because I want the Trix. So he disguises himself as a cat. And then he goes in, and one of the kids goes, silly cat, this party's for rabbits. So he's like, oh, I'm a rabbit. And he turns back into a rabbit. And then he goes for the Trix, and they're like, silly rabbit, Trix are for kids.
Oh, damn. They're just fucking with him now.
I know. So the party is for him, but the Trix are still for kids. And then on another occasion, he had disguised himself as a dog. He actually does this twice. So I don't know about his judgment on disguises because it fails the first time and then he tries it again for some reason. And then in addition to some of his more cartoony disguises, he has disguised himself as super realistic people, like live action people.
What?
Wait, what?
So there was one commercial where
It's like the actor live action person, and then he anamorphizes into the bunny rabbit when he gets revealed.
Yeah. So there's one where there's kids on a camping trip and the dad is I think he was building a fire or something. And then when the kids sneak away, the dad starts to turn into the rabbit for some reason. So he just was a dad somewhere.
The scariest disguise of all.
Yeah. There's one commercial. It was actually a Got Milk commercial, but he was in it. And he disguised himself as Harland Williams. And if you don't recognize that name, the role that I recognize him from was Dumb and Dumber. He's the cop that drinks the pee.
Got it.
I haven't seen Dumb and Dumber in 20 years.
So yeah, Harlan Williams sneaks into a convenience store and they grabs a box of Trix. And then when he gets home, he unzips himself and he's the rabbit. So yeah.
I thought you were gonna say he unzips his pants and takes a big piss in it.
Why would I say that?
Because he's the guy who drank the piss. Maybe he wants it on his Trix.
Yeah, that would make a good commercial for Trix.
Tastes good with anything, even piss.
And then there was one commercial where he actually got help from Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny helped him come up with a disguise. So Bugs Bunny is his mentor, I guess.
Oh yeah, Bugs Bunny's disguises were fucking on point.
Yeah, I know. So Trix the rabbit, he's kind of clumsy. He's not always successful, but he has a really, really good mentor to support him. And then there are a few times where he actually does successfully get Trix. He doesn't fail every time. So there's one where he disguises himself as a balloon salesman and he floats to the kids or something and he gets in one bite before they take it away from him. So he got a bite. And whenever he gets the Trix, when the kids say, silly rabbit tricks are for kids. Sometimes he says, and sometimes for tricky rabbits. That's like his slogan that he says when he actually gets it.
I see.
Well, I will say that you can't really use that as a fighting point because I think both Toucan Sam and Tony the Tiger are much more successful at eating their own cereal. Almost every commercial we get to eat it.
Well, that's just because no one's taking it away from you.
Oh, no, Toucan Sam, everyone's taking away from Toucan Sam.
There's one commercial where he disguises himself as a pilot and he offers the kids like these toy planes and he uses the toy planes to distract them and he takes the cereal while he's distracting them. So that's like a sort of sleight of hand thing.
So he's tricky.
Yeah, he's tricky. Hence the name Trix.
That makes sense.
And there is one instance where actually they gave it up to a vote, like just to kids around the world, whether or not he should get Trix or not. And the results were overwhelmingly yes.
Oh man, I was hoping the answer would be like, and it was overwhelmingly no. Kids are like, fuck that rabbit.
It actually happened twice because there's another commercial where he wins a race. And the prize of the race was Trix. But then the judges were like, I don't know, should we give it to him? Should we not? And they put it to a vote and the vote was yes again. So people like him. That's actually one of his things, I guess. He has some other skills too. So he was in a race, in a car race. So he won the car race. So he's super good at driving. I don't know if that'll help in the race, in the fight at all. Probably not. He once built his own Trix machine. So he's handy. He can build things. He was an astronaut once where he said he signed up for quote unquote moon duty to get Trix. So he's a legitimate astronaut. And then there's one commercial for some reason he just turns into a straight up robot. I don't know why.
Okay.
But he's literally just a robot in that one.
Well, that wasn't him. That was the robot.
No, it was him. It was definitely him.
No, it was a robot disguised as him. If you're if there's a robot of you, it's not you. That's how robots work. That's the whole point.
Or he's just always a robot. I don't know.
Some Twilight Zone shit.
And then I alluded to this earlier, but he's super popular. So like all the kids root for him because they all voted for him. There's a commercial where they were promoting a friendship bracelet. So the kids wouldn't let him have the Trix, but they were like, we're friends though. We have the friendship bracelets. And then in all the commercials that I watched on YouTube, I scrolled down to the comments and like every single person was like, just give him the Trix. We like him. He deserves Trix. So he has like an underdog story and everyone likes him. So everyone's rooting for him.
Strong positive feelings of different types for both the Trix Rabbit and Tony the Tiger.
Yeah. And usually, so he doesn't usually get the Trix, but it's not because he's incompetent with his disguises usually. It's usually just because, well, usually his disguise actually works and he gets the Trix, but then he gets too excited about the Trix and that blows his cover. So if Trix aren't involved at all, then his disguises will work. So that's his main thing, is being sneaky, using disguises. I guess people root for him. I don't know. Moral support.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So that was Trix.